Podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode. Some people learn about life through books, some through heartbreak, and some, like today's guest, learn through movement. Natasa Zekovic has lived many lives inside one lifetime. A pedagogy graduate who learned to read people early, a flight purser dealing with pressure and human behavior in real time, a yoga soul shaped in Bali, a cruise ship instructor teaching sunrise classes in the middle of the ocean, and today one of Dubai's most grounded, quietly elegant movement teachers behind the power of flow. Her story just isn't about career transitions, it's about transformation, discipline, integrity, sarcasm that survived the Balkans, resilience built through unpredictable life events, and a philosophy that everything happens for our highest good. This conversation isn't only for people who love yoga or Pilates, it's for anyone searching for balance, clarity, and a reminder that sometimes healing begins with listening to your breath, your body, and yourself. Welcome, Natasha. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Appreciate it. How was your day today? How did it
Very
begin?
nice. Very nice.
You said you were training today earlier on?
Yes, I had my group sessions this
Nice.
morning and now I'm here with you.
Great. We'll come to all of these things slightly later, but I would love to understand where and how it all began. So you've been through, you're from Bosnia?
Born in Bosnia, raised
Born
in
in
Serbia.
Bosnia, raised in Serbia, and then obviously all the way now to the UAE. How was childhood and, whilst growing up, was there any drives or any factors which got you into the wellness? And not just wellness, you've also been in aviation, you've also been at sea. So you're very diverse. And of course, fitness has been there. So, how did it all come together? Let's start with home.
How did I enter in this area in the first place?
Eventually, so what was those triggers since you were young? So,
Mhm.
what was home like?
Well, you mentioned I was born in Bosnia. I spent there for 5 years and then we had a war happening. So we moved to Serbia. So that part was normal, peaceful childhood. And then, of course, a little bit of turbulence that makes you change countries. And yeah, my life in Serbia was pretty okay, normal
You're
for
living in the town side, countryside, or how?
townside.
No.
Townside. I was living in a city which is a second largest city in Serbia. It's not the
Nice.
biggest, but it's not the smallest as well. And yeah, just a normal city childhood. But I would spend my summers and my holidays in the countryside. I
All
had
right.
family over there, so I really enjoyed spending time there.
You studied, still having a hard time pronouncing the word, pedagogy.
Pedagogy, correct.
Pedagogy. You studied pedagogy and you learned to read people at a very young age. And you also understood that you mentioned that people's needs, not necessarily that you have to fulfill them. How did that come to be? What were you studying? What was there a particular subject, or did that intuition start from within you? Was it something natural?
I think it was more of a natural thing, and that's what led me into pedagogy in the
Interesting.
first place. That's just something that you probably have in yourself, and you kind of develop it through your growing up, through your circumstances of life, and yeah, the pedagogy is a science of educating children
Right.
firstly, and then even adults as well.
Nice.
So
So you've always called yourself a bit of a observer, right? And I think naturally it's helped you grow to where you are today, dealing with different type of personalities through your fitness and during your flying career, as well as you were doing fitness on a cruise. So when you say that you were a little bit of a rebel, was it a mind? I think being a rebel is very important. You cannot always follow the rule. You cannot always play by the rules. Um, you can always twist them to a certain degree, not entirely break them, but bend them.
for sure.
So when you say that you were a bit of a rebel, in what
I think
sense?
it was just a surprise for my environment because I was always a very peaceful child. And then, let's say, in my teenage years, I started to find my freedom to want things my way. So, in that way, like I was rebelling in a way. And then when I grown up, I'm not exactly following a traditional path. Let's say I have studied pedagogy, but I'm not doing that job. I'm not sitting in an office.
Fair enough.
I'm doing it in a different way.
Absolutely, that's fine. You mentioned three things, right? About being a observer, rebel, and a dreamer. How do all these three things manage to coexist in today's
Balance.
time?
Balance. It's hard to find balance between those things. I think observer, anybody can be an observer, right? You just need to gather
That's
information.
very debatable. Not,
Okay, why?
not everybody can be observers. There's a difference between observing and just looking.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So no, not everybody observes at all. I think not many people have that ability to observe. So yeah. And then you said unpredictable life events, right? But family was always stable. And sometimes in a good way, sometimes not. I think that's very interesting. I read this somewhere recently that sometimes family helps you through the storm, and sometimes family is the storm.
It
You
can
know?
happen, yes. I believe always everybody is trying to do their best.
Right.
So nobody's doing anything to cause harm to you necessarily. Everybody's doing what they know. They think
What they
what
yes,
they know, what they
absolutely.
think it's right.
Whatever they were taught by
Whatever
their
they were taught,
parents, yes,
exactly.
absolutely. And then naturally you were starting to go through your teenage years, studying. Where did fitness start coming in?
So I was not very active as a child. I
Right.
wanted to be, but at that time we were not having a lot of money to support any like extracurricular activities. So that came a little bit later for me. Let's say when I was already in university, I was like starting to train just for myself, nothing too much. And then when I really got into it was I was already flying. I was already in aviation, but I kind of got serious about
How did
yoga.
that start?
It started as a way of taking care of myself first.
So wait, flying. Let's go to flying. So when did that start? Right out of university?
No,
And how
not
long did you fly
immediately.
for?
Not immediately out of university. I was approximately 25 years old when I started my flying career.
Right.
And I was there for 7.5 years.
Oof, wow. 7.5 years. And I'm sure you flew for one of the leading operators. That's really nice. How was that experience? So what made you get into flying to begin with?
It was just an opportunity that came along. As I mentioned to you before, I was not one of those girls who is dreaming of becoming a flight attendant. At that time, that was not very popular in Serbia. And yeah, I will say it. I was in Qatar. So that time, nobody knew of the country. Nobody knew what Qatar was.
Wow.
So many people were like, where are you going? What is this country? Is there war over there? So people had
Okay,
no
because
clue.
misconception about Middle East. Okay, that's
Misconception,
fine. That
definitely.
happens all the time.
I didn't know much about Qatar, but I did my research and I decided this is a good opportunity for me. And as I mentioned, I was just excited for a change. I'm always looking forward to a change which will help me grow. So it's not
positive
just
change.
about okay, constant change. It's about something that will grow you.
Balkans are very famous for a particular humor,
For sure.
a sarcastic humor. How does that help you when you are dealing or coming across different personalities, different types of people, customer facing roles, and see people with a particular humor? Find it sometimes very hard to control things that I have to say, and I really have to manage myself. That what is required to say, when, where, and how. All of these things need calculation. Sometimes it slips. Did you ever find it hard?
I found it hard to keep my face straight sometimes when there's like a funny situation and yeah, but yeah, I managed to not to say things when I'm not supposed to say it and not to a person who will not get it probably. But yeah, being in a customer facing role, definitely there's a lot of material
That you get,
you can
I'm
laugh
sure.
about, yeah.
7.5 years flying. right? Um, I always like to highlight that people see that flying is a very glamorous, 100%, no doubt about it. You get to travel the world. You get to see so much. There's a lot of self-development because you're exposed to so many different types of colleagues, situations, countries, etc., cultures. Did that initially, was there any culture shock over there in the initial stages? And then you stayed for 7.5 years and you became quite senior, right? So you want to talk us through the long hours, the different time zones, the body clock is all over the place. Was that one of the triggers that you were like, I need to work on fitness as well and balance it? Because,
Well, yeah, it definitely did prompt me to take care of myself
yeah.
better. But yeah, it was an adjustment period. Definitely, I think everybody who just starts flying need to kind of go through that adjustment period first.
I'm sorry, I'm going to stop you there. So when you say we just start flying, what are the expectations then when you are flying and when you're already seasoned professional that you've already flown for like 3 5 years? So you already know.
Expectations in what way?
So when somebody who's new and they start flying, you're like, oh, gonna travel the world.
You're just excited. You don't know
Okay.
anything.
Right.
And I
And
noticed
then you
it.
realize you go like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I noticed it like from the briefing rooms. You sit in a briefing room, and as a new cabin crew, you sit and your purser will ask you, so what are your expectations for this flight?
For our people, what is a purser?
It is a person who is leading the flight, like a boss on the flight. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So then,
Yeah, so I noticed the answers the new crew are giving, and then the senior crew, which are the answers, and like why you're doing this job. I remember this very vividly, and I was very new. I was like so excited. I want to travel. I want to experience new cultures and everything. And all the season crew, money, money, money.
well, to
So
be honest,
after a
they get
while,
paid really
yeah,
well.
they get paid very well. After a while, like people forget about the good things. You know, they forget
Interesting.
about why they started this thing.
The passion sort of wanes a little
Yeah,
bit. And I think that can be various reasons to that passion waning due to
due to the lifestyle.
mismanaging.
Yeah.
I think, yes, due to the lifestyle, due to mismanaging expectations. People need to really manage expectations. They mismanage it, and then that's when the stress starts to sort of come in. Have you ever come across any interesting incident, something online, I'm saying on board? I'm sure online you've come across many incidents thanks to social media and misuse of social media. But yeah, in general.
Yeah, I was lucky not to have many crazy like safety incidents.
Interesting.
Of course, we had some turbulence, diversions, you know, landing into a different place than you originally planned.
What are they called?
Diversion, yeah.
Diversions.
Yeah, and let's say you have a medical emergency or something
Has
like
it ever
that.
happened? Any medical
No,
emergencies
for
and stuff?
sure.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Serious or like somebody just having an anxiety attack?
thank God nobody ever died on my flight.
Okay.
But yeah, there were heart attacks and yeah, different things.
Wow.
And I was, they always say, like, once you become a purser, what happens to you on your first flight will follow you. So for me, medical cases were like the one that followed me along.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. And you said passengers, you said something very interesting that passengers become predictable patterns. So
Yeah.
is it because of for example, let's say that you're flying to somewhere in the Middle East, the
You know what to
behavioral
expect,
pattern
yes.
of.
And this is where
Interesting.
the company, who is like a big organization, they are very good in being predictable and knowing their passengers' needs.
Knowing their customers. Fair enough. Fair enough. And then obviously there was something that you joked. Flying made me grow up faster. In what sense was that? Was it the experiences you're gaining, the exposure you're getting to different
I think it's
places and
the
societies
places,
and
the
cultures?
cultures, because there's only so much of growing you can do in one place. Then you have to get more exposure.
Totally agree. So I also think that when we're growing up, there is a lot of unlearning we need to do. So we learn some things as a kid, we grow up and we go like, oh my goodness, nothing works like this. Theory is very far from practicality. What was, if you would like to mention a few, something that you had to unlearn?
When it comes to flying years,
Yeah.
I think it was mostly cultural,
Hmm.
being mixed with many different cultures and having the culture of the company that you're
Right.
working for.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
you have to kind of adapt to everything. And yeah, coming from the Balkans, we are very prideful people,
Mm-hmm.
I would say so. And yeah, you have to kind of learn not to take things personally.
Fair. I think this is very, very important.
It's important in any business.
Yes, I say this repeatedly that when you see a customer who is upset, he's not necessarily upset at you. It can be if the situation isn't handled correctly, yes. But more often than not, they're upset with the situation. And you, as the individual customer facing person, you need to understand that and segregate the two.
For sure.
That no, he's not upset with me. I don't need to take anything personally because I can also be in such a situation.
It comes in many different ways. It's not only a customer to crew,
Hmm.
it can be your colleague to you,
Right,
or if
right,
it's
absolutely.
your supervisor
Mm-hmm.
coming from a different background, they have a different leadership style
Absolutely,
that
yes.
sometimes can
It
feel
can be cultural, it can be whatever.
control.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I totally understand. And then you mentioned because you flew for so long, sense of home sort of goes away because you're always flying.
Yeah.
Because your rosters, I've seen, I've got friends, I've got colleagues, and when I see their rosters, I go like, wow, hats
Looks
off.
amazing.
Yeah, because no, I
Coffee in
think I could.
Rome.
Yes, like you're having breakfast in one country, one city, 12 hours later, you're somewhere else having dinner. It looks very glamorous. I would like to say that it's not sustainable because it takes its toll on your
It takes
body.
its toll for sure, and that's why I felt that I did it in the proper timing. When
Fair.
I was young, like I started with 25 and then I left when I
Wow.
felt it was time.
Very nice. One of my friends, he even invited me to become cabin crew one time, 2013. Yeah, I told him that no, it's probably couldn't do it, brother. Yeah, because there's too much of flying, and it's amazing. I fly
But you
for work.
mentioned the sense of home. I
Yes.
think many cabin crew have this feeling that they lose their sense of home because you don't belong the country that you came from anymore. You kind
Right.
of you don't live there anymore. You've seen so much, and then you are coming to a new country where you're an expat, and every other country that you come, you're a visitor.
Yes.
So you need to find a home within yourself.
So how did you sort of rebuild that? What is home? Usually people say home is like we've read it everywhere. Home is where the heart is.
Something like that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
need to carry it in you. So you need to have an anchor to always come back to yourself. So if you're here, if you are on an airplane, on a ship, or
Hmm.
wherever you are, you need to be able to come to yourself.
That's enough for aviation. And then you decided to make a transition. And so you were in the skies. Now you decide to be in the ocean. How did that happen? Was there a trigger? You were like, okay, fine, because I've been in the skies for so long. Was there any charm in because you were on a cruise liner
Hmm.
for a contracted period of time, doing what you do as a passion,
Yeah.
fitness. So
Yeah, I was
tell us
teaching
more.
I was teaching yoga. There was a little
Yeah.
bit of a break in between aviation and
Right.
that ship.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I was spending time in my home country, Serbia.
Right.
And I just felt again, it was time for me to grow. It was
Okay.
time to kind of move away. And I miss traveling. And I always
Fair.
like to connect my work with traveling. I
Yeah.
think it's smart.
That's very nice.
And yeah, there was an opportunity for me to go for the ship.
Hmm.
It was a yoga instructor role. So I'm practicing yoga, I'm doing what I love, I'm doing it with people who love yoga, I'm traveling every day, maybe in a new place, exploring. So it was a very nice experience.
Cruises look very, very interesting to me, but in the sense that how are they always because if you're at sea consistently, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you come to a port, you spend a day in the port, and
Okay.
then you move on. Yeah, you're at sea.
In the air, there's turbulence. Ever faced any turbulences at sea?
Rough seas sometimes. It
Wow.
was not that crazy, not that
Seasickness?
serious. A little bit,
Yeah.
once or twice, like nothing too serious. But I'm that kind of person who doesn't get too sick or
Oh,
anything.
that's
Yeah.
very nice. Good. Because I've heard stories.
Mm.
There was a time that my parents, they traveled from Dubai to Basra, Iraq, and they faced, turbulent seas. So they were like, once the ship starts rocking, people do get, because I'm sure it's such an overwhelming feeling, to stand on the deck, look into just ocean all around you.
It's amazing. Yeah.
I think
It's
that's
really,
scary.
it's like very powerful, actually.
Yes, I think that then you realize how tiny we are
How
in the
small you are.
yes, in the universe. So you said that it was overwhelming as well at times. So
Yeah, I
at
spent
at
5 months.
5 months,
5 months
and at a
at
go,
sea.
how long would you be at sea? So, for example, from one port to another, do you
The
want to tell us a
longest
tiny
we
route?
had, I believe, is 14 days, which was the crossing
Crossing.
of the ocean. Yeah.
Oh wow!
So
14
14 days. And many people have asked me, so how do you feel about the crossing and everything? I was not even thinking about it. I was just
Nice.
taking it day by day. So today I have my classes, I have the people who I enjoy spending time with. And yeah,
You mentioned something very interesting when we were speaking. So you said that being away from all of the noise got you somewhere connected to faith.
I think we spoke about it in my Bali journey.
Right.
That's the time.
We'll come to that as well.
All right.
Yeah. How did you end up in Bali?
After I resigned from aviation,
All right.
yeah,
So
that
okay,
was
so this was the space in the
this
middle.
was
So
the
you just
space in between. Yeah. After I resigned from
right.
aviation, I went to Bali. I spent five-ish months over there. That's where I did my yoga training,
Interesting.
and that's where everything kind of quieted down. So I think that's the one that you are referring to.
Yeah, because you get in company. Oh, when you leave the company, and then you get in touch with your faith, and I think everybody, it's very personal.
For sure.
This is very personal. Everybody has their own way of connecting to a superior power. You can call it God, you can call it the source, you can call it the universe. Everyone has, life goes on for everybody, regardless whatever they want to call that superior power. Some character. Oh, you mentioned something about this character, 80-year-old gentleman who
Yes,
practiced
yes,
yoga.
yes. A very, very like fond person to me. He's around 80 years old. He's a famous
Wow.
psychotherapist, and he's still working. So he's still working because he's so searched for in his field. Like there is not many people who does this kind of therapy that he does. And yeah, he cannot do much when it comes to yoga, but he was very excited to come and have some sessions with me. So I find it's like a very, very nice memory from the ship.
We spoke about perceptions. You want to elaborate. So, for example, perceptions of people when you first decided to leave home and go to a seemingly, well, Middle East, they've always had the misconception that, God forbid, you're going to live in the desert. Okay. Misconception.
For sure.
Then another misconception that you're living such a glamorous, relaxed life. Glamorous is correct, is the right perception. Relaxed life is the misconception. So, how do you describe that perceptions? People, you've come across them, you will come across them in the future, you currently come across them
Well,
now.
we all have perception. Let's say I have a perception of you. I can see you sitting in your nice attire over here. You're taking care of yourself, but I have no idea what you're going through. Right? How is your daily life? And you're still managing, to take care of yourself. So the perception is what we can see from outside, but we don't have the experience of actually living
What's
your
actually
life.
going through
What's
the person?
actually going on? What's going on inside of you? So everybody can have a perception of you. It doesn't mean that that's relevant.
It's the
Yeah.
or is the right perception, because people
That's
might
the
see
right
something.
perception for
Yeah,
sure.
like for example, one of the greatest comedians, I think, one of the greatest actors, I think, was it Robin Williams? I think he made the whole world laugh, and
He was severely depressed.
yeah. So
And also we can compare it like with social media. What you see on social media.
social media is very, very interesting, because there's a lot of I like to say it how assimilation of information without comprehension. People will pick up something from somewhere without context and not bother to understand.
Not bother to understand, or they will use their own perception and systems of value or whatever to process the information,
There's so
right?
many things I can say on this. When you said that they will use their own perception, um, I think people who perceive it as positive are slightly more, as politely as I can put it, more competent.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones who perceive it in a negative light are the ones who have inner chaos, if that's safe to say, inner chaos and envy and a lot of frustration and everything which goes around that downward
Yes,
negative
when
spiral.
you have envy, it's normally because that's something you want and it's missing inside of you. Yeah.
Because they see you doing something that they actually want, but
But they're not even aware maybe that they want it, or they're not aware, maybe they're not happy, they didn't try harder or something like that.
or maybe they're just hateful.
Yeah, maybe. But I try not to think about people just being jealous and hateful, you know.
It's okay that they'll make the noise. It's fine, but we shouldn't let them. It's good to have people like that. I like to say that they're part of the ecosystem. It's very good to have such people because everybody cannot be the same, right? It's very nice to have these people around as well. We just don't need to engage with them. To just minimalistic. You went to Bali those 5 months. 5 months.
Approximately.
Yeah, and you were under the mentorship of Krishna Devi.
I finished my yoga training and she was one of the teachers.
Wow.
So, quite a few teachers we had during the training.
Before we get into this segment, what was the drive of fitness? Is quite vast, right?
Mhm.
There's Pilates, there's reformer, there's yoga, there's bodybuilding, there's so many things in fitness, right? Why was it this these two which specifically attracted you?
Yeah, I started with yoga. I just feel this is the discipline for me because
Fair.
it's the one that connects you with yourself the most. This is how I feel. Like I'm not the person who likes to go for classes that you need to jump a lot. I need to slow down. For me, this is the one that I can really feel every movement and I connect with my breath. I like the flow. So,
And see, yoga has been around forever. So I used to
and it's
think
more than just a movement.
it is, yes. I would like to, obviously, I misunderstood yoga for the longest period of time. And I used to say that it's useless. And that was me. Yeah, I'm
Really?
so sorry. Yeah, that was me being ignorant, not arrogant, but ignorant, that how important it is because it's a discipline that has been around since forever. And
I
obviously,
think before you do any activity, you should do yoga.
yeah, wow.
First yoga, then everything else.
Interesting, because I have my friends, my CEO. In the morning, he does yoga. He'll wake up in the morning and he'll do his whatever morning ritual. I have another friend. He's into heavy biohacking and he used to fly as well. And yoga is one of his part of his daily ritual. So he wakes up in the morning. He'll be at the beach. He'll do his grounding and his yoga and everything, whatever. So very interesting. And then I think it's also nice as group classes, yoga, people sort of get to.
Yes, it's a community.
Yeah,
It's a
thank you.
community
I was
thing,
missing
and
the
then
word.
you get to connect, you learn from each other. It's not, I mean, it can be a solitary practice, but it's mainly a community thing.
Something that I don't understand is ki.
Qi, it's
Chi.
energy. That's Chinese
Right.
already. Yeah.
So you mentioned pyramids of
Yes,
chi.
that is a part from sound healing in Bali. So
Sound healing.
yeah, so
Wow.
there is a place called Pyramids of Qi. Were asking me about transformational experience that I
Yes.
have.
What was it?
Yeah, if we're talking about sound healing, that was one of the really really nice sessions. So it's a place which is built like a pyramid, so it keeps the sound in, and many different instruments where you just lay down, relax in a complete darkness, and the instructors will go around and they will play their instruments, which most of the time sound it sounds of nature. So you have the sound of rain and like
Outside, yeah.
birds and snakes and different things.
I think that's a very unsafe environment if you can hear snakes. Wow, my goodness. But then, while you were there, when you said that you learned to stop, so that explains a little bit. I could be misunderstanding. That explains about your personality that you were a bit fast paced.
Well, that was, yeah, after aviation, because you're constantly on the go. You're
Okay.
constantly on the go. You don't even have time to process
A lot of the things,
everything
right?
that's
Right.
going on,
Mm-hmm.
because today you're in this country and so many things happen just on one flight.
Right.
And then you're coming home, you have your rest, you're going to a different country.
So everything
So
is
that's a
fast
lot. We
paced.
don't even realize how much is that for our body, for our mind,
Yes.
for our emotions. And then suddenly everything stops, there's silence. And of course, you're able to
Focus more. You can
focus more,
reflect
process
more.
things. Yes.
Interesting. What would you say to those people who is everybody in yoga this calm?
This calm like me.
Yeah.
I'm not always calm, and I don't want to give that impression. Like,
Okay.
I'm a fiery person,
Okay.
and it's work to stay calm.
It's working.
Sometimes it's work to stay calm.
You speak about flow and philosophy of life, right? So flow is, I think, you would be best if you elaborate. So, for example, flow could be movement. It
Yeah,
could
if we're
be,
talking about a movement,
yeah.
then it's just moving from one position to another position.
Mhm.
So you are flowing,
Right.
right? So
Absolutely.
you're not
Yes.
moving from here to here. You need to go to here, to here, to
Yes.
here, to
It is
here.
a flow. Correct.
There's a flow. And if we're talking about how do we interpret it
And this flow
internally,
is physical and spiritual.
physical, mental, emotional,
There you go.
spiritual,
Right.
it can be many, many levels.
Mhm.
And that's why I enjoy it so much. Yeah, when you're in the flow, let's say you're doing a flow class, you cannot be
And
anywhere
this is one
else.
of your projects.
This is one of my
It's
projects.
called The Power
The
of.
power of flow.
There you
Yes.
go.
So anything I do, be it yoga, be it Pilates or reformer, mobility, whatever I do, I try to do it in a flow form. And yeah, in that moment, you cannot be anywhere else. I'm sure that, like other forms of exercise, you get that feeling. But if I compare it to let's say, running, I'm not a runner, by the way, but if I'm running, I'm able to think about other things. I'm able to make plans. I'm able to think about the future, the past, or whatever. If I'm in this flow, I need to be present because I need to balance. I need to use my
Focus.
strength. I need to focus. And for that period of time that you're doing the flow, you are there. You're not anywhere else.
One of the biggest misconceptions, because obviously you work with so many bodies, so many humans, obviously for your classes and fitness, what do you come across as one of the biggest misconceptions they might have when it comes to movement and flow, flexibility, etc.?
Uh, well, misconceptions. I feel people use it too much for just the physical benefit in the sense of shaping their body.
Right, right.
Shaping their body. Like physical movement
Has
has
to
so
be
many
both.
aspects. Like it has to be functional, firstly, for your body, that you choose the right activity that suits you, the right level that suits you. And then it has, mental benefits, it has emotional benefits, even energetical, spiritual.
What would be the difference when you're, let's say, going through a class, right? A client who's present and a client who's slightly distracted. His
Client,
movements will not be in
definitely.
coordination. I feel.
Definitely. If I say left arm, right leg, they will do right leg, right arm. Right? They will not be able to.
Oh, don't tell me. Is it one of those exercises that, oh, which you see that, okay, can you move your right arm like this and move your right leg in a certain
There
way?
are so many
My
things, but yeah,
goodness.
like you need to be able to pick up what am I saying verbally and process it in your mind and then transfer it into
And you
your
can't do
body.
it if you're not mentally present.
If you're not mentally present, or
Absolutely.
let's say I'm not demonstrating in that moment, I'm not demonstrating there. If they're not present, you cannot repeat.
All of this that you have done, flying, customer facing, and I think customer facing is so underrated. People don't understand that how draining it can be on self. Okay.
It's a lot of giving energy. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then when there's no reciprocation, you still need to maintain those high levels of energy.
Yes. And then you need to give yourself that energy.
Exactly. Because recently I read and I saw this somewhere that you can't pour from an empty cup. Um, some people have great energy, they have so much to pour. Amazing. Respect. Not everybody is the same. So, what is your sort of, when you feel that, yeah, you've had a slightly long day, you want to recover, what does Natasha do when she wants to recover?
I know if I'm like having a lot of work or just feel like I'm giving a
Yeah.
lot, that I need to give back to myself. So I need to return to my balance. First, I need to have my own practice. So it's not only training other people, I need to train myself as well. And yeah, just have my rituals, my morning meditation,
There
a
you
little
go.
bit of sunshine, good food. Just
Cool.
if that moment,
So
if I
it's an
feel
entire package,
it's
every
our entire
aspect.
package,
So food is necessary,
for sure.
right? Food is there,
And good
movement is
quality
there,
food, not just any food.
right?
Because the food that will give you good energy, not just a fast energy.
Very interesting. So what she means is fast energy means fast food, high GI food, which will instantly shoot up your insulin and give you energy. So clean food, clean eating, nutritious, not empty
Nutritious food.
calories. Understood. And then because you've done so many things, right? And along with those titles, being a trainer, being a cabin crew, being on the ship, being along with that comes being a daughter, being a friend, being so many things.
Mm. Oh, when you say titles, it sounds weird.
But those are titles, we get associated with those titles, right?
Yeah.
And then how do you personally manage? Because it comes down to managing expectations. So friends expect something. We might not always be present physically, because obviously traveling around so much, but we are there thanks to social media, that we are now a message away, in
True.
putting it in polite terms. So how do you try to manage? Obviously, as humans, we have expectations from others.
Hmm.
It's only very rare that you reach a certain stage in life that you entirely detach yourself from these expectations. So I'm sure that we are at that age that it's very difficult to detach us from those expectations.
Well,
But
it's
how
a
do you manage
practice.
them?
I try to practice. Like I do have expectations,
Yeah,
and
of
then
course.
when something is not fulfilled, I try not to be disappointed. But like, okay, it is how it is, and that's it. It's supposed to be that like that, probably. How do I manage other people's expectations? Sometimes I don't. Like before, I was a person who must fulfill everybody's expectations.
Ah,
Whatever somebody
interesting.
wants from me,
Right.
I know that they want it, and I really have to do
Why
it
was that? Because you were earlier, obviously,
because I
because you were
was a people
younger.
pleaser.
And that's fair. That's fair. Because the two things, you were younger, less exposure to real life
And working
situations.
in a industry that is training you to basically fulfill
To-
people's needs.
Absolutely, because we always hear that customer is king, etc., and customer is always right, even though they're
Yeah,
not
but
always
that is
right.
different. That is work,
Yes.
right? But then when it transfers everywhere into your life,
Yeah.
then you kind of need to have a balance of it.
And then you said, obviously, going back to the Balkan sarcasm. Now that Natasha, the younger one, slightly, people pleaser, has to say yes to, even though she does not want to, in the sense that, even though if it's not your mistake on the flight, and you have to say,
You
out
say
of
yes
politeness, sorry.
without knowing that you don't want to.
Ah,
You say yes because you feel like you have to, because this is how basically you've been taught from young age.
mm-hmm.
And then somewhere in the middle, you realize, I don't actually want this.
You protect your peace when the world around you speeds up. Do you also do that? Because I know there's a friend of mine, he does that. He goes away from social media. He will be away from his phone. He goes sometimes trekking and stuff in Dubai. He'll go and he'll leave his phone for a day, 2 days. He'll stay away from it. Even though he's very active on social media, let's not get
Mm-hmm.
these two things mixed up. He's very active on social media. He will come back from his getaway and everything, and then he'll post whatever he took on his camera, etc., etc. But social media, he'll shut that down for 2 days, 3 days, and then
That's
he'll
a
come
good
back on.
practice. I don't think I'm removing social media instead of like in sense of completely shutting down.
Right.
But I do take my time. Like if I don't feel like replying to a message right now, if
Mhm.
it's not something that it's urgent, I will give myself that time. And of course, that's something I needed to learn as well. It didn't come from the beginning. I was the person
Right.
who is always answering, always first, but I
Always
realized
present.
that
Yeah.
I'm all constantly putting myself last.
Mhm.
And then sometimes I need that time for myself as well.
Absolutely. You come across as very, very simple and very grounded, which is not the usual case nowadays. And so, is it just nature, or is it that you understood that it's an important aspect of life? Many people don't understand. Many people get, when I say simple and grounded, people often take it in the wrong sense that people who are successful are not simple and grounded. Some people who have come from nowhere,
Normally, the most successful people are
they are
very
very
simple.
simple and grounded. And the difference is they've actually built everything and they've gone through the struggles. Simple and grounded are those, the people who are not simple and grounded are those who've been lucky enough to be spoiled. In spoiled, I would say lucky enough to be taken care of, whilst growing up and having everything, having access
It
to
can be, but it
everything.
can be opposite as well. Like you
Yeah.
had nothing, and then suddenly you become successful,
And then you get
and then,
egoistic.
yeah,
Mm.
it can be that
So
as
it
well.
can go both ways. So what is it for you? It's a lot of nature, because it looks like it's a lot of nature, because even in your speech, in your body language, it shows that, you're very grounded, you're very humble.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I try to connect with nature as much as I can. And I feel like it always brings me peace. One of the things we talked about when I went to Bali, I really felt went to Bali many times.
Mhm.
And why I always feel happy there, I feel like I don't need anything. I feel like I can walk barefoot, I can have the clothes that I have on my body,
Mhm.
and that's pretty much all I need. The sunshine, the sea, and the happy people around. It's good enough.
In the beginning, you had mentioned, just when we started the conversation, you said that because you wanted to leave for freedom. You felt that you had the independent aspect coming in. When you said that you were a bit rebellious because you're now experiencing that freedom. And so, what was freedom then?
Hmm.
15
Younger
years
age,
ago,
okay.
yeah. And what is the definition of freedom now?
Well, when I was younger, freedom is to be away from your parents, to do what you want to do,
Fair enough.
right?
I think all children have that. Yes,
Right,
that's
that's normal.
normal.
You're
Yeah.
searching for your independence. I want to do things my
Mhm,
way.
mhm.
I don't want to, mention when I'm coming home or
Yeah, I
whatever.
think small things, small
Small
basic
things.
things. Yes.
Exactly. And then it became, of course, different kind of freedom uh, that you want to have a freedom of choice. I
Hmm.
want to have the freedom to travel, you know,
But with freedom comes a lot of responsibility.
for sure.
Yeah. And like you said, choice. So in that freedom, you will always have choice to make. I wouldn't say wrong decisions, rather, because we don't really know if a decision is wrong or right.
Exactly.
In that moment, every decision
But every
looks
decision
right.
is right.
Yeah.
Even when
And
it's wrong, it's right.
yeah, correct. Even when it's wrong, it's right. It's only until the later years you realize, like, okay.
No, no, even then it's right.
Even then it is right. But then you feel like, for example, to an extreme,
Let's say you
getting
make a
into
decision, you end up in jail, in prison,
great experiences.
right?
Yeah.
It's still the right decision. I believe so.
I would concur. Yes, I would. Um, because wouldn't say personally I've had that
Oh,
experiences,
me
but
neither, but I'm just
yeah,
giving it
but I
as
think,
an option.
but I've had the blessing of knowing people who've had such experiences.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's nice. It's a great childhood, that where we come from, and it taught us a lot. So yeah. And then when you say that creativity brings life back, are you into any arts, craft? I think yoga itself is very artistic.
I wouldn't call myself like a artist when it comes to painting or anything, but I do like to paint.
Oh, you
And
do like to paint.
yes,
Wow.
but it's just like for my own thing. Like when I was younger, the high school that I finished, it was like for designer of clothing.
Nice.
Yeah, so
So
we did a
fashion
lot of,
design.
yeah, like a fashion designer, but it's not like a
Nice.
master because it's just a high school level.
Okay.
And we did a lot of drawing and
Hmm.
everything. So I spent years and years in drawing and
Are you good
sewing
at drawing?
clothes. I probably was better
See,
because
I
I
was.
practiced a lot.
We had art class, and I was terrible. Like I cannot draw anything. It's very. I can draw stick man,
Yeah.
but that's as far as it goes.
Yeah, I did
But
a lot of sewing. I was sewing clothes. So I enjoy creating.
that's called home sciences.
Yeah.
Wow, very
And
nice.
today I do paint by numbers.
You do
So
pin by
paint by
numbers.
numbers. Yeah,
What
it's
is
just
that?
relaxing. So you have the picture, right? And
Right?
then it's divided by numbers and you just paint the colors and you create a picture.
Okay, paint by numbers. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's
Yeah.
nice.
So
That's
it's just a
nice.
very relaxing thing and you end up creating something
I'm so
beautiful.
bad. I tried doing that as well when I was slightly younger, and I still couldn't just color within the. I'd always color outside it.
I think it's the process. Recently, I
I
was
think it's
painting a
incompetency.
table. I was
My
painting
God.
a table and it didn't turn out that great, but I was enjoying the process so much. I was singing, playing my music and painting, and I was all, painted my hands and everything.
Yeah, I
So
think
I
my
think that's the joyful part.
dad used to do like paint frames and stuff like that at home, so we used to help him. But yeah, and then you said something very nice where you said that people can reinvent themselves at any age. You want to tell people how? What are those aspects? What are those factors needed to be considered if you're looking to reinvent yourself? And I think it's very, very important that people need to keep reinventing themselves.
Mm,
Because if you're not, then unfortunately, because life is moving so fast,
true.
you do suffer.
I think life changes and you change, so you have to kind of go with the flow. Somebody told me recently, like you lived so many lives, and I found it
Yes,
like a big compliment. I feel like I did. I lived so many different lives, and I'm planning to live so many different more. I don't know where life will take me.
future spy.
Maybe, who knows? And yeah, you can always reinvent yourself. Of course, you need to be a little bit practical to know what are your abilities. Let's
Thank you.
say we talked about if you're 80, 90 years old, you're not going to become a famous ballerina, but you can enjoy ballet movements, right? Why not?
There you go. Managing expectations. So you need to have practicality.
Practicality, and you need to have faith, and you need to not listen to what any other people have to say about it. If you're realistic, of course, like many people will say, now you want to do that, you know how much effort that will take you.
Hmm.
Like, let's say I was opening my YouTube channel and then people were like, oh, that will take you too long.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey, but you never know until you try, right?
so what if it will take long, even 5, 10 years after, let's say, you will still have that, and that person who said it will take
Mm.
too long will
Yeah.
not have anything, right?
True. At least you're trying something.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. And there's something I just remembered, slipped out of my mind. I wanted to ask that when it comes to reinventing, was it reinventing managing expectations? Because many people manage, yes, we studied this when we were in business school, that your goals need to be smart.
Mm-hmm.
So S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for actionable, R is for realistic, and T is for time constraint. So these five, if you put it into any goal or aim or task, I
But
think it
also
comes out
that
more
time,
successful.
you need to kind of be aware that some things take long time,
Oh,
and you need to be
process.
resilient and persistent to
Yes.
persist in this time.
Yeah, absolutely. But many people don't understand that. 10 years ago, you were thinking of life, obviously, as everybody, myself. I never realized that, I'd be doing what I do today. Um, do you ever feel many people say that I've spoken to a few and they said, yeah, we knew exactly that we would be here
I had no
because,
clue.
yeah, and to me, that's fascinating, to be honest. But then there's so many factors behind it because they come from that background. They've had heavy exposure in that specific field. So naturally, their path is being built
Hmm.
for them to head in that direction. They're prepared with all the tools. So they know that, yes, I'm heading in that direction from a young age, clarity, which is great. For me, it wasn't the same, was it?
Not at all. Like I couldn't. imagine that I would end up in aviation when I was growing up in Serbia. It just kind of came, and I'm the person who is a little bit like, I like to take some risk.
Yeah, very nice. Calculated risk.
Calculated risk, but yeah, like there are many people who will not take their risk because I'm comfortable in my own country, my
Yeah.
family is here,
Yep.
and many people told me, I couldn't go because I don't want to be away from my family.
And that's fair.
And that's okay.
It's okay.
That's how they
Yep.
want to live their life. They want to
Yeah.
be close to their family. So not everything is for everybody. But yeah, I'm the person who, if I feel like, okay, this is the one for me, I will take the risk. So I didn't imagine that I would be in aviation. I didn't imagine that one day I would be teaching yoga. It just came in that moment. And I felt, okay, I feel it's right. So let me go this way. So maybe something next will come and I will feel it's right. Okay, I go this way.
Fair, you would explore
So
it.
you learn to kind of recognize, okay, this is my way. Okay, I went the wrong way. Let me come back.
See, that's nice because then you have you have situational awareness that you know that, okay,
Intuition as well.
there we go. So it's a mixture of all of these things. Some interesting things, slightly smaller. Dawn yoga or night meditation? What is dawn yoga? Morning yoga?
Morning yoga, yeah.
Morning yoga.
yoga.
Morning yoga.
Morning yoga, yeah.
Do you know in summers what time the sun comes out in Dubai?
Early.
3:30, 3:45.
Well, it don't have to be like when the sun is immediately out.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Ocean or mountains?
Ocean.
Why?
I don't know. As I told you, like standing in the middle of the ocean, it feels very powerful. I like the mountains as well, but it's
I
very
would be
powerful.
super scared because I think that feeling, like even when I talk about it, just imagining myself standing on the deck and look around and there's nothing. There's just nature. Just Mother Nature around you, and then you see that, wow.
How small you are.
Yes, absolutely. Reformer or mat?
Mat first, reformer after.
A specific reason for the
Yes.
order?
Yeah. I believe the basics, you should always learn the basics first before you incorporate something like a machine.
Fair enough. And then one movement that you swear by?
Yoga always.
Has to be. Very nice. Okay, that works for you. Something that you secretly dislike?
Something that I
Secretly dislike.
yeah, we spoke about it. I would not say dislike, but I'm not a runner.
Okay, not a runner.
Not my form of activity.
Some things that describe you, only 3 words, please.
Honest. How do you say integrity? Like I keep my integrity.
Morals, yes. Integrity.
Moral. No, not morals. Integrity. It's
Integrity,
different.
yes.
And what would be the third word?
Something that kept you going.
Persistent, probably.
Yes,
Persistent,
absolutely.
yeah. Or stubborn.
Last one. If Flo was a person, what would they look like?
Oh, if Flo was a person.
Yeah, interesting.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Male or female? I'll decide. Yes?
Could be either.
Female.
Yeah.
I'll
Female.
decide. Female.
Cool.
Beautiful, flowy hair. Good energy, light but strong, firm but gentle. Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice shaped body in the sense of like muscle. Yeah.
That note, thank you so much, Natasha. This was a
Thank
great
you so
chat.
much.
Would definitely look to dive into your project Flow the next time we sit down. I would love to understand it more. Do you want to tell our audience what it is about?
The power flow.
Yeah.
Well, it's a movement that I created when I was still back in Serbia, and I'm carrying it with me wherever I go. So whether I'm teaching on a ship or here in Dubai, it's the movement, the way I teach, the way I move, and it's not only about physical activity. It's everything that we spoke about. It's about what you carry inside.
Thank you so much, Natasha. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure is all mine.
Her story is a reminder that movement is not just about bodies, it's about decisions. From Serbia to Qatar, from ships to Bali, from cabins to studios, she's consistently chosen alignment over autopilot and freedom over comfort. What I love most is that she doesn't romanticize any of it. She talks about unpredictability, resilience, sarcasm, facing unprocessed things, and still choosing to believe that people are good and that everything is happening for her highest good. If there's one takeaway from today is that you don't have to radically change your life to start healing. Sometimes it starts with one breath, one class, one honest conversation with yourself, and the courage to stay in flow. I hope everybody enjoyed this episode. Thank you.